Hi, in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at marking files in Diode and then playing them with MPV. So in the previous video I showed you how we can use Diode and queue up multiple videos. So if I press L on the keyboard here, it's going to open this video, and what I'm going to do is stick it on top. Okay, and now if I come across here and press L on another video file, what it's going to do is going to add it to the playlist here, and I can check that by running function F8 in MPV, and you'll see that there are two files queued up to play. What I wanted to be able to do is actually mark all of these files and add them to the playlist. So that's what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to quit this, and there's two ways you can mark files. You can either come through and mark them manually by pressing M on the keyboard like this and pressing capital U to unmark them, but I'm not going to go through and press M to mark every single one of these files. So thankfully there's a keyboard shortcut for that. If we press Shift 8 to bring up an asterisk and then press period, it will prompt us to mark all the files using a regular expression for the file extension. So if I press asterisk that, and it's going to default to the file extension MP4. So I've got all those files marked now. So what I'm now going to do is press my embark keyboard shortcut, which is Control comma, and you'll see here we go act on, and what you'll see down here is L MPV play marked files with MPV. So just press L on the keyboard, and what you'll see here, I'll put this on top and I press F8, you'll see all those files and 34 hidden files marked there. So I'm just going to unmark these, and if I bring up my MPV hide by pressing F2 and then E, what you can see here is this is giving me a list of all the playlist entries that have been added to MPV in the queue, and I can actually jump to any of these files down here. So you can see it's marked all the files and added them to the playlist, and they'll play sequentially one after another. I can jump to a playlist entry, I can remove playlist entries, I can go next previous, so I can press N, go to the next item in the playlist, come up here, F8, see it's jumped to the second one, switch back to Emacs, press P, go back to the previous one. So, got a way to mark all the files in a directory and play them with MPV. So let's have a look at how we do that. I'll just come out here. So, this is the bit of code that I've come up with, and this is a follow-on from previous videos. So what we've got here is the MPV play diode bit of code, which is where you press L on the keyboard and it basically plays the video. So this is coming up here. This is basically setting it up so that what we're doing is we're checking we've got a list of supported MIME types here, which are video and audio MIME types. And what we do is we get the MIME type and we actually check if it's a supported MIME type, and if it is, we play it with MPV. If not, we open it with Emacs. So this is the previous code, the MPV play diode, and this is the new bit of code down here. And what we've got here is a function called MPV play marked files. We've got the description, we've got it interactive so that you can call it with Emacs. This is the bit of code that does the job. Map C, MPV play diode get marked files 000T. So what that does is that gets the list of all the marked files. Now if I come into that directory here, what you can do with MPV is actually play multiple files by passing them as arguments on the command line. So like 1, 2, like that. And if I come across press F8, you'll see it's queued up 2 videos. So we're basically doing the same thing with Diode. We're queuing up multiple files to be played sequentially one after another in an MPV playlist. And this is using the mpv.el package. And again, the advantage of this over just opening MPV using XDG or something as an external application is that we've actually got the ability to add additional files to the playlist, remove items from the playlist, jump around, and you wouldn't have that ability if you just open them all with MPV regularly. So you've got that bit of code there, and basically what that does is that gets the list of all the marked files, passes them to MPV play diode up here. So if the process isn't running, it's going to play the first video and queue up all the other videos. If MPV is running, it's going to append all the videos to the playlist. And then finally what we've got down here is with eval after load embark, define key embark file map, L the keyboard shortcut, and then the function that we're going to call. You don't have to use embark. You could use another completion framework, or you could just bind the key regularly without using embark at all. But I thought, why not? Because otherwise I'll just have to, find a spare keyboard shortcut in Diode to use and then remember it. So it's not many extra keyboard shortcuts. We're just pressing Control, comma, and then L to queue this up. So again, the way this works is we can either mark individual files like this. Make sure you need to have your cursor over the marked thing up here. Then just press Control, comma, which is the keyboard shortcut I've defined. Press L, and it's now queued up those 4 files there. We can see queued those 4 files up there. Oh, loves to do that. Oh, come on. I'm going to kill that. Let me just do that again and stick it on top. Right, stick that on top. And then come back here. I'll mark that. Press F2 for a Hydra. And this is the 1990 version of the Flash from archive.org. And as you can see here, we've got the playlist command, so we can go next, previous, jump to a playlist entry, or remove a playlist entry. So I can go N, it's going to jump to the next one. If I press E, it's going to show me whereabouts in the playlist I am by using an asterisk next to the currently selected video. So I can use auto completion here, so I could just type pilot. Going to auto complete to that, and it's going to jump back to that one. I can remove a playlist entry, so press R. I say I don't want to watch Honor Among Thieves. That's removed it. Press E. You'll see now I've got 3 items in the playlist. So let me just quit that. Oh, meant to quit that. So again, we can have a mark things individually like this. With M, press capital U to unmark them. But what you want to do is use the regular expression to mark all the files in the directory. So we'll press Shift 8 for asterisk, period, mark extension, default MP4, we'll mark them all. Press Control, comma, then L. And as you can see, I come up here, press F8, you see now I've got all those marked in the playlist, F8. And in MPV, you can use the keyboard shortcut, the, what is it, left arrow, right arrow, you know, shift, comma, or shift, period to go forward or backwards, like that. But we can also do the same thing from within Emacs, pressing the Hydra, go next, 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 like that, previous. So that's how we can queue up multiple files with Diode to be played with MPV. You can, if you had different file types, you could just basically run Shift 8 period to mark those file extensions again. You could also use something like FD Diode to mark files in subdirectories. So frequently, if you download video files, they may be in separate folders, and you want to play all the videos in those folders. So you could actually, you know, do a find and then mark all the files in the subdirectories, and then just hit the keyboard shortcut and cue the videos up to be played. So again, this is the sort of block of code I come up with from previous video, MPV Diode, where we check the MIME type. The MIME type is a video or audio file. We open it with MPV. If it's not, we open it with Emacs. And we've got a little function down there. We've got a tiny little bit of code to get this working. So this was nice because I thought I'd have to write a load of code to actually get this working and, you know, create new functions and everything. But I just reuse an existing function that I've written, and then just use this map C MPV play diode get mark files 000t, and then bind the keyboard shortcut like that. And again, you could just, you know, bind the regular shortcut as a global keyboard shortcut if you want. But I just thought I'd use embark because, well, why not? So that's how you can queue up multiple files with MPV to be played. You can queue up multiple files with Diode by marking them all and then playing them with MPV. So I'll put links to all this under the video. And I hope this makes using Diode to play your video files a bit easier. So as I said previously, what I was doing is I can press here and come through mark files like this. I can just come down, press L on the keyboard and add all those files. But I'm not going to go through and do that. All of these files, that's just too much work. So again, we can either mark them individually, or we can just mark the whole load, press return, control comma L, and then we've got that set up there. So let me just switch back across to my MPV config up here, right up to the top. Okay, here we go. So the MPV.el package has default options, and as you can see when I was playing the videos, they're all appearing on this screen in their native size at whatever, you know, it was like 640, 480 or whatever. If I uncomment this section here, this is how you can set the MPV default options. So --fs --fs screen 1, what that will do is that will open all the videos full screen on my second display. So when I queue up all these videos, they're going to be queued up and put full screen on my second display, and I can then use Emacs to simply control them all using the Hydra to play, pause, fast forward, rewind, jump to the next item in the playlist, remove the playlist item. So it just makes it a lot nicer to use Dire to play your videos, having the ability to create a playlist of videos to be played sequentially one after another, as opposed to opening them individually and then having to keep switching back and, you know, moving the video across to the other screen and putting it full screen. So that's all for now, and I'll put all the links under the video for all this.